So this is good, having these legs or this stilts or some whatever for the camper. I've mentioned this before in the past, but the person I bought this whole unit off of, he built the whole trailer itself, the camper, and he built these especially for the camper in case you find somewhere on a pad or something that you want to park your camper and take it off the trailer. He built these especially for mounting for legs for the camper. So this is a better spot for them. This is where they should be, and the tires were blocking the box back here like this, and so they're in the truck where they should be. So everything's a lot more neat and organized and stuff like that. And yeah, the fact that I can just get it in out of this box makes a big difference. Yeah, so that's better. I'm getting more organized, and that's looking cool. So yeah. Anyway, we got to take off here for a bit. So we'll come back and chat with you later. Ciao. Now we're just sitting outside of Bigfoot Burgers here. Bigfoot Burgers there, just right outside here. It's the first day they're open this year, so we're actually not eating here. We're not actually eating here. I just stopped here to charge up my phone and then do the Wi-Fi thing, and do all the Wi-Fi searching and everything like that. And so I catch up with all the updates and everything. So that's what we're doing here. And now I guess from here I think we're gonna go down to what's that place? Where's that place? Where's that place? Into Qualicum Beach there, and go to Windsor Plywood. I think that's probably our next stop. So talk to you soon. Ciao for now. So this morning when I was doing my searches online and everything, I checked my bank account, and Google sent me some money for the Google ads. You know, those little advertisements on most of my videos there. Yeah, they pay us a little tiny amount for that, and they sent me a little tiny amount. So I saw that in my account there, so I decided to come down here to Windsor Plywood here. This is Windsor Plywood up here, and grab myself a 1/2-inch sheet of plywood here, because what I want to do is I want to put that down on the bottom of the box of the truck here, and then take my plywood and use the brackets to mount them up onto this sheet. This will be the floor piece, and I think that'll make a much more solid box than my original plan. It'll hold it all together better. So that's what I did with my Google AdSense money, or some of it anyway, not all of it, some of it. But yeah, so that's that, and we're just gonna shut this down, tie it all down, and get the hell out of here onto the next project or something. There we go. So after we got this plywood here, we ran around, got some more groceries here, because you saw last night was pretty much out of everything. And with those groceries, I got myself some blue corn tortilla. I love the blue corn the best. But that. Then we went to another little specialty store and got a few knickknacks there. So we'll go in and show you what we got here, okay? Here we go. So here we go then. You saw that I had my bag of blue corn tortilla chips there outside. You saw that. And I got myself another bag of frozen blueberries to go in that bowl down there. And I still have some leftover potatoes in this bag back there, so I have some potatoes on hand. And then on top of that, I got some Brussels sprouts here. I got 3 different types of greens and herbs there. I got some walnuts over here. Got some red pepper, some onion, and I even got some broccoli this time, some sugar snap peas, and of course a big bag of beans. Of course, that's the main dish right there. And I got 2 different kinds of mangoes because they only had, these were the last 2 of this kind. These are, I prefer these kind there. These ones can tend to be really tart and almost sour. So I got one that's actually quite ripe, so that'll make, it'll definitely be better than most, I think. But these ones are generally sweeter than the other ones. But anyway, these ones are still a bit green, so to speak. So they'll be great for cooking, because that's the way I like them for cooking, when they're a little bit firm. So we got all that there. Oh yeah, we had to get another box of eggs, brown eggs here. So we got that. And on top of that, we got our 95% cacao. So I only have a couple of pieces of that, like after dinner or something. But most of this stuff is on the list. Oh yeah, and we got some frozen tuna here. I got 2 pieces of frozen tuna. I'm actually not going to have any tuna tonight. I've got a different plan in mind. And so we got another couple of pieces of this. Frozen is just as good as, it's the next best thing to fresh. It's, it's about as fresh as you get anyway. You just thaw it out and it's pretty much fresh. Anyway, so we got all that. And but for tonight, someone on one of their channels was talking 2 days ago, was talking about cottage cheese and going on about cottage cheese, and I was like, gave me a craving again. So I went and got a tub of cottage cheese. So that's actually what we're going to do for tonight's dinner. We're going to do a thing of cottage cheese with a bunch of this special stuff here, and just make a really delicious and healthy meal, and light as well. So let's get on with that. Let's get everything out of the way here, and we'll show you what other trinkets and everything we got in the bag down there, and show you what that's all about, and then we'll get on with dinner, okay? Let's do this now. Ciao. So I've got the kitchen organized, ready to do the dinner, but first I forgot to talk about the white elephant in the room. The white elephant. But before we get to them, I got to show you this. I got my blueberries in there, the frozen blueberries I put in there, mixed them around. They're softening up and cooling down and everything. And I'll consume that basically a couple of spoonfuls at a time over about a 36-hour period, I think, on average. So it's pretty cool. Keep nutrients going through your body all the time. But I forgot to mention these artichokes. I'm sure you saw them sitting there and going, what about those? Anyway, yeah, I got these artichokes. I got them for another time. They're going to be a special prep. If you've ever done artichokes or know how to do them, there's a bit of work there and stuff like that, and you got to put the sauces and whatever you want on them or with them, and that. It's a process, but anyway, I got those because I haven't had them in forever. I haven't had them in a coon's age, and that's a long time. So yeah, so I've been kind of thinking about them and kind of craving them, and they're on sale today, so I got a couple of those for a little later down the road here, and they're also super healthy for you. Apparently these artichokes and Jerusalem artichokes, which really aren't the same thing, are full of inulin, and that's sort of a good product for diabetics and that. Anyway, they're super healthy superfood, and they're delicious as hell if you know what you're doing with them. So anyway, let's get on with the rest of dinner now. So the other thing I did was I went to this place called Stedman's, because when I was down there last time, I got one of these thermoses. It's a stainless steel thermos. It's only 20 bucks, and it holds a liter of liquid, and it comes with its own carrying case here too. Now the last time I was down there, I got one before, that one hanging on the door if you can see it. Got one before, and I thought those are pretty good. There was only 2 left, so I went down and grabbed the second one. So I'll have 2 liters of coffee when I go out fishing, because that's that's basically what I got it for, was to go fishing. So there we go. It's got its own carrying bag with a strap and that hanging off whatever. There we are. Got some batteries for this little flashlight I got here, because it's actually on its last batteries and they're getting dim. So got another set of batteries, 2 sets there, so that'll take care of that for a while. And then on top of that, I was really tired of having all my spices, good spices, the main ones, all in plastic bags like that, because I don't know, they're just flopping around and they're kind of inconvenient, and you know, fiddly to get in and out of. And one of these days, one of those bags could easily rip on me, and I have spice everywhere. So what I did was I went and got these jars here for the main spices that I use a lot of. As you can see, there's quite a bit in most of the bags usually. And I got these labels here. These labels here are going to go on top of the lids there for what the spice is in there. But I'm going to have all my spices in there. And I've already got a set of measuring spoons, but I got this extra set, partly because it's black there and it can show off the spices better. But I'm going to use this only specifically for my spices there. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to fill these jars up with spices. Just like that. Each one of those are in a jar now, just like that. Easier access and everything, much simpler for me. The bags won't rip, and I can just line them up in the corner like that. Oops, don't break them. Just line them up like that, and I'm going to slap a label on each one of them to identify them easily right on top. And there, it'll be a lot simpler and easier for me, and I can just scoop them out with my little spoon there. So there's that, and now we're going to just get on with dinner. Get on with dinner. Ciao. So here's the plan for dinner. So the base of the dinner is going to be cottage cheese based, because I haven't had it in so long and I'm craving it and that. So it's going to be cottage cheese base. And then what I'm going to do with these items here, it doesn't look like a lot of each, but when you pile it all up, it makes quite the mound. So I got to keep it down a bit. Anyway, I'm going to chop up these beans and this Brussels sprout, the one, some of this red onion and the broccoli. I'm going to saute that down in a little butter. Just very slightly saute it, just so it starts to get soft and that. So, and then I let it cool down a little before I put it all together anyway. So it's not about being a hot dinner. It's about just being an average room temperature dinner kind of. Anyway, so when we've done all that and that's all cooked down, we're going to add some green onion here. And I'm going to chop up these snow peas, chop them up and throw them in raw. Same with this red pepper, throw some of that in there. And I found one more garlic. I actually forgot to buy garlic, and I actually found one left over. So we got some garlic to go in there. Oh, we're saved. And then on top of that, we're going to chop up some spinach in there and some cilantro. And I got some fresh thyme. And that's a really nice herb, and so we'll chop up a bunch of that and throw it in, because I think that'd go really well with this. And then on top of that, we're going to, of course, chop up some mango here and throw little cubes of mango in there. And then, of course, we've got some more walnuts there, so the walnuts are going to go in there too. So it's going to be quite a plethora of ingredients into the cottage cheese. So we got to fire up the stove and get the frying pan going for the first part, and then we'll get the rest done. So we'll see you in a minute. Ciao. Okay, turn the heat off now. So what I've done here is I've very lightly sauteed down the beans, the walnuts, the Brussels sprouts, and the broccoli in here. Just kind of lightly sauteed them, give them some heat and soften them up a little bit there. And I don't have enough bowls, so what I'm going to do basically now is while it's in its own heat there, I am going to just toss in everything else. These are the snow peas. These are the chopped onions, green onions. The red ones are already in there. Red pepper, cilantro, and spinach. And I had to cut back on the ingredients because I have a tendency to overdo things, a little of this, a little of that, and it's too big of a pile. So I had to cut back, and this is changing to a different sort of recipe than what I thought. So this is chopped up thyme and garlic, and the mango. I should have used a bigger frying pan. Yeah. So what I'm going to do now here is I'm just going to toss this around, blend it really, really well, and then get it all ready, and then we'll get the cottage cheese ready for the whole dish. I lost some red pepper over there. I'll get those in a minute. But just mix this all thoroughly. So here I've blended everything together here, put it all together, and basically what I did was a bunch of salt there to my liking, my salt, enough pepper for my liking, and for the ginger and turmeric, instead of the fresh this time, I went with the powdered ones in the jars here, and those jars are working really good. So I've got the ginger and turmeric in there, and I blended everything really well. And then I put a pretty decent smash of the toasted sesame oil all over there and blended it in. Oh, and on top of that, because it's got mango in there, I wanted to use a good smash of the 5-spice. Not overpowering, but just enough, because the mango and the 5-spice really go together well. Then I just blended it all together, like this, in the warmth of the rest of the stuff, and it can cool down. It doesn't matter how cool it gets. It's not that big of a deal. It doesn't have to be, it can be hot or cool, whatever you want. Anyway, there we go. That's done there, all ready to go. So like I was saying before, I have a tendency to overdo things, and this was actually supposed to be a main dish of cottage cheese with some special delicious healthy ingredients thrown in, and a little of this and a little of that piled up to a huge pile. So instead of being the main dish of cottage cheese and stuff thrown in, this is going to be a little about close to half and half I think, on the side of the veggie dish. But anyway, so what I did was, instead of mixing the cottage cheese with the ingredients in a bowl, because there'd be a lot less ingredients, I decided to just spread the cottage cheese out on the plate. I slapped it with a bunch of pink salt, of course, and then I'm just going to place as much of this ingredient kind of in the middle, and then I can eat it together as I go. And this should taste pretty darn amazing, I'm sure, because I know for one thing, everything in there I like, and I love cottage cheese, so I don't have it very often, but so when I have it, I really enjoy it. So that might be, it's pushing the cottage cheese out, so might be enough for now. I might have to leave it at that and try to eat some down and then add more later. Crazy, eh? So that's the meal for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in a minute when I eat it, I guess. All right, ciao for now. So I'm actually afraid to pick this plate up and try and set it on my lap over there on the other side where I usually eat right now, because it's so loaded, and my luck, I'll spill everything everywhere. So I'm going to eat some of this down here right now off the, well, it's up here, and then when it gets down low enough, I'll go and sit down with it. So I'm mixing the cottage cheese in with some of the ingredients. That is one hell of a meal, especially if you have a craving for cottage cheese with stuff in it. That is really fabulous. A Mediterranean style meal on top of cottage cheese, salted cottage cheese. I love all the ingredients in there. I just absolutely love everything in there. And I love cottage cheese. But this, for cottage cheese, this will probably be my fix of cottage cheese for probably at least a month. I don't have it that often, but I have it when I crave it, when it tastes so good, so wonderful. But this is fantastic. I can't say enough how delicious this is. And sauteing the first ingredients I mentioned down to soften them up was perfect. Just let them cool down, mix them with the rest of the stuff, room temperature, throw it in the cottage cheese, and you're done. It's great. Wow. This is really good. I'm going to thoroughly enjoy this, so I'm going to finish it up. And who knows? Who knows when we'll see you next, okay? We'll talk to you soon, though. Ciao for now. Blah, 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 blah.